imminent, 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 imminent.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Monday, 12/9/2019. Lots going on. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping in. We got the Patriot Punisher pain level somebody sent. That's what I named it. It's awesome. Got a remote, go through any color. I will show you guys that in another video, but right now we are at like level 3, I would say, because the pain is getting ready to come. Is it going to come in the form of the Horowitz report? I don't know. There's lots of reports. Actually, Barr allowed for late last night, changed the rules and said you can add some more of the Christopher Steele stuff, which they had to contact Christopher Steele and let him know. And it was like coming to a great surprise to a lot of people. A lot of these leaks, I think, were false. I think they were controlled opposition bullcrap leaks to get the media just down the wrong path again, because they've been wrong for 3 years thus far. But we don't want to put too much in. We're just going to wait. We're really waiting on the release, the D-class, to undermine the whole thing and give us the raw data that we can look at, analyze, and come up with a lot of great facts, truth, despite what some person investigating found, and talk to a bunch of people. We know Horowitz is more like the internal thing. When there's like a company, something goes wrong with employees, that there'll be an investigation, an internal investigation of that company. This person kind of works for that company. They're never really for the employee. He doesn't carry a gun. He doesn't carry a badge. He doesn't arrest people. He makes recommendations. All right. Horowitz's last report recommended Comey and Rosenstein, same charges for Paul Manafort, Flynn, and Roger Stone. Okay. All 3 of those around Trump went down for the very same crimes that Horowitz's last report outlined and made recommended charges. DOJ decided not to prosecute. We all sat here saying, okay, the next stuff coming down. They got bigger things on Comey. That's what we're hoping, and we'll see. We will see. All right, let's get into this article. Again, if you're new here to the Patriot Hour, never take what we say to be 100% fact, word, truth. We encourage you to look into everything we say. We don't ever try to present anything wrong or lie to you on purpose. If we ever are wrong, it is, not because we want to lie. Now, again, lots of confusion. I had read a story that was very amusing to me that came in the form of an email, and it just went over some people at Gitmo, pet rats. I mean, if you didn't know, that was the funny thing is that was like a 3-minute little thing. And, since you guys all do your own research, you would have known that was satire, or within minutes. I don't know. I keep getting email or still people like, what was that? Don't ever do that again. Some of us don't know. Well, again, do your own research. And sometimes here with YouTube, there's lots of funny things that go on. And other than providing you guys lots of great informational videos, and I'll be really clear from now on, all right? If I put out a satire or just one that was that delusional in a sense. Now, again, lots of lots of bad men in prison have had pet rats, all right? I think every movie has showed that in a humorous way. But no, I did not mean to steer a bunch of you wrong and put in the mind that Carrie was in Gitmo and now you've seen him, and I straight lied to you. I apologize. That was totally humorous, and I believe under that video I would have left the link to the actual, probably was a satire article. All in good humor and all in good fun, folks. All right, let's get into some real stuff here. We are chomping away and rambling. I am, anyway. Okay, here we go. Barr set to allows for some extra release of additional details about the ex-spy behind the Steele dossier. All right, if you're not familiar, This man right here, ex-British former spy, was told on the eve of the release that a highly anticipated Inspector General's report would contain further information about him than he had expected. This comes by Kate Brenner. This is at the New York Times. Washington Attorney General William P. Barr recently approved making public new details about a former FBI informant at the heart of the conservatives' allegations at the Russia investigation, deciding to release further information that had been blacked out in highly anticipated Inspector General's report due out Monday. A representative from the Office of the Justice Department Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz told the former FBI informant Christopher Steele on Sunday evening, from what I've been reading elsewhere, that the Justice Department had decided to allow for the release of the information. Two people briefed on the situation said late on Sunday. Mr. Steele was given no details about the information itself, nor was he told how it would affect the report's portrayal of him. The people said Mr. Horowitz is expected to be critical of Mr. Steele, a British former spy who compiled a dossier of salacious, unverified information about President Trump. FBI officials relied on some degree of that dossier to seek court order for a wiretap of a former Trump campaign advisor, and the president's allies have seized on the issue to make broad claims about the sprawling Russia investigation. See, they're trying to downplay it already. This article, I don't expect to get much out of it. New York Times, other than the fact that they are forced to sit here and tell us some facts, like Barr's doing this and he's releasing it. Got a hold of Christopher Steele. They wouldn't really tell him what parts of it they were going to release further than what they have originally told him. So the notice came to Mr. Steele on the eve of the report's release was highly unusual. Like the other witnesses interviewed for the Inspector General's report, Mr. Steele had earlier reviewed the findings that were pertinent to him, and he was given a chance to comment on them. In this case, Mr. Horowitz's office did not detail for him the additional information and gave him no opportunity to respond for the report. Spokeswoman for Mr. Barr, Mr. Horowitz, declined to comment. Mr. Steele did not respond to this article for comment. Mr. Barr had pushed the FBI in recent months to declassify the entire forthcoming report, arguing that it would be better for the findings to be transparent as possible. That process has taken months and only recently wrapped up. Because it's not good, right? It's not good for him. So it was not clear why the information about Mr. Steele had originally been blacked out in Mr. Horowitz's report, though Mr. Horowitz's office updates or operates independently. The Attorney General, and the other senior law enforcement officials routinely review its reports to black out sensitive details like information that is classified or involves continuing investigation. We can understand that. During his investigation, Mr. Horowitz asked witnesses about, when I mean that right here, sometimes they say that only for 2 more years to go by, and then that other investigation never goes nowhere. That's been the guys. During his investigation, Mr. Horowitz asked witnesses about an assessment of Mr. Steele's MI6 British spy agency, which provided to the FBI after the Bureau had received the Steele dossier. MI6 officials described Mr. Steele as honest, but said that he sometimes pursued targets that others believed were a waste of time. 2 people familiar with the assessment have said. So we get into some of this stuff here. Mr. Horowitz will also fault the FBI for not telling the judges who approved the wiretap applications about potential flaws with the dossier. He's also expected to criticize contact that Mr. Steele had with Bruce G. Orr, a Justice Department official and Russian organized crime expert who shared information from Steele with the FBI, even after the Bureau ended its relationship with him as an informant in the fall of 2016. Mr. Orr kept those meetings with Mr. Steele from his superiors, which Mr. Horowitz is expected to criticize. Mr. Orr's wife also worked for the research firm that had to hire Mr. Steele, Fusion GPS. So you think here, a couple of these things, the Inspector General is expected to say that the Justice Department did not know the identity of Mr. Steele's patrons when they used some of its findings in the original 2016 application for wiretap of Mr. Page, but he will be critical about the fact that the law enforcement officials did not change language about who paid. So just these 3 things here, they're gonna, and Horowitz last week released the way that their FBI agents worked with these informants, basically, or CHSs, classified human source. And that, if you're working with one guy already on some other thing and that's what you use him for, you can't have him come in one day as your informant. So what you got for me out on the streets? Hey, I heard something about Trump. Okay, what do you got? There's all these relationships, and Horowitz, I found a website for him and all these videos for the last couple of years. He comes out and when he makes findings, like I was telling you earlier, corporate companies, they have these investigations go on, and typically it's never for the employee. It's always for the organization to keep it as less muddied as possible, to explain it in such ways that, make you think like, oh, okay, and they're going to handle it. And he made some new recommendations. They're going to have 3 training sessions over the next few weeks with all the employees. It's a safety stand down. That's like what he does. Now, Horowitz can recommend charges like he did last time for Comey and Rosenstein, but nothing happened. Same thing with, like I said, the people around Trump, same crimes, obstruction, lying, and they went down. 3 people, right? We've named them Stone, Manafort, and unfortunately Flynn. Now, the same charges were on these other guys, and we know that the last Horowitz report recommended and nothing happened. So we got to keep that in mind with the one coming today. But what we're all excited for and what we're all waiting for is the actual D-class. And hopefully that comes at the exact same time, hour later. I can understand not releasing it before all of a sudden, these last week or 2, because if they did, then this probably wouldn't come out for another 4 months, and then it would maybe take what was released and mold to try to explain that. I can only imagine. So, all right, we're going to keep this one short and sweet, get this one out, and I'm going to be working on some other things, and we will, I've been keeping an eye on just this right here, right? IG report, multiple different sources. You hit refresh, everything's 5 hours, 2 hours, 8 hours, 1 day, 5 hours, so nothing yet. The minute it happens, and I'm actually got the place where they get dropped at saved somewhere, so I'll get that up. All right, you guys enjoy your morning, and we'll see you back here. Take a look down in the description box again, and thank you for being here. We know your time is busy. You're back to it's Monday, back to that. So try to have a good morning into your afternoon, and we'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video coming soon. You guys have a great day. We'll see you back here real soon. God bless. God bless.
Imminent, 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 imminent.